welcome back to BTY. I'm your host, Michael, and as always, I'm joined by my very good friend, Daniel. And we decided to make a video today, our first video in this new space that we are living in, to kind of break down the costs and what you can expect moving out in Cape Town. That is where we have decided to do exactly that. It's been our first month or so doing this. So, yeah, we wanted to get into some of the costs, what you can expect, and break it down a little bit. For some of you might be looking to do the same thing. Maybe you're already doing it, want to compare. But yeah, Dan, good to be back on a BTY vid with you.
Yo, it's been such a long time. So we started off where we were just finishing high school when we were busy with our university, busy with our studies, and now we literally are working, man.
Working and paying the bills, eh?
Yo, it's expensive.
The new
but it's
struggles.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of breaking it down, what's a few of the expenses that we should look at? That's gonna be basics in a general household.
Yeah, so what we've decided to talk about, like, rent is going to vary wherever you stay. But what we can go down into is the other expenses that come up when moving out. So
Yeah.
first one that we've come across so far, obviously you're going to have to put in electricity in your electricity meter every month. So well, we wrote down an initial budget when we first decided to like move in together, and then obviously now this first month we've actually seen how that's played out and if it's worked well and so on. So yeah, when it comes to electricity, we budgeted for 800 rand a month. Initially we budgeted 1,000, but what we realized is that the units do go a little bit further than we thought. One thing I'll say is we've been quite like frugal with the way we use our electricity, unplug some things and turn things off where we can, and that's allowed us to get away with a budget of 800 rand a month. Although that doesn't get you a lot of electricity these days, just with Eskom and the prices going up. I think that's like a fair budget that most people could probably stick by.
Yeah. So I think about 800 bucks. This is a 3-bedroom apartment, but we utilize 2 most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's working. So I mean, if you're gonna stay in a smaller space, it's gonna work out at a cheaper rate. Let's say you do like a bachelor, but it also depends on what you use. But yeah,
for us that's just like doing the cooking, obviously your lights, plugs, working from home, electricity drawing, watching TV, doing the laundry.
Yeah.
So all of those things are gonna use a bit more, but
yeah,
that seems like it's gonna get us through the month. That's what we'll be doing moving forward.
Which has been good. And I think then we also looked at water. We also put that at around 1,000 bucks, but we realized it actually comes between 600 to 700 per month. And then apart from water, electricity, what other expenses do we have?
Further than that, one of the first things that any young person's got to put in their place these days is Wi-Fi. Yeah, that was one of the first main requirements. So we did a bit of shopping around for this, asked people that we knew, like what's, obviously it's kind of determined by your area what provider you're going to go with. So like for example in the area we are in now, it's Octotel that is the actual provider, but then there's different companies that will actually then also give you the router and you pay them, and they obviously just work through Octotel, for example. So yeah, we paying currently a discounted price for the first 7 months, which is 560 rand. 569. And that's for a 55 megabyte download line, 25 megabyte upload. So far, I don't know, my experience, I've had a positive experience so far. Like I came from, previously staying with the parents, we had 100 meg line, so 100 meg upload, download. But I have so far haven't had any problems with that Wi-Fi speed on your side.
Yeah, and I haven't had problems. I think it's just when the weather is a bit like cloudy and rainy, then the Wi-Fi can get a bit weird. But otherwise, it's been good.
And that discounted price is only for the first 7 months, as we said. So then it's going to go up to 720.
720 per month.
So if you wanted like a 100 meg line, you can expect to pay like 900 rand probably a month.
Yeah.
Something you got a budget for. And further than that, man, the next big one is obviously food.
Yeah.
So initially, again, we before doing this whole thing, we came up with a budget of around 4,000 rand a month in total on food. So obviously, with splitting that, it's 2K each. And we've been able to, obviously, in the first month, stick by that. In the first month, you've got to stock the house with a few of like the basic things that you're going to need for the long term.
Yeah.
So each month it's going to vary a little bit, but that 3.5 to 4K budget I think is quite realistic.
Yeah, I think like this month we spent about 3.7, then we made it 4, just for if you get bread and some eggs or just some of these random daily things.
Yes.
But we've been able to stick to that, and we bought quite like a lot of bulk.
We stocked up big,
like
yeah.
10, 15 Ks of rice. I don't know why, but
that's
gonna last us for the year.
An interesting decision, yeah.
Yeah, so when you look at those sort of things, we're not gonna spend on rice again, and that's gonna go into something else. I know we didn't buy too much meat because we already had meat as well, but we did put in quite a bit of money into that. Got some.
And you definitely can go cheaper, hey, bro. I feel like we've bought food that like we're gonna enjoy.
Yes.
We want to like eat quite a while as much as we can. So if your budget is tighter, you can always go less than that if you're eating like a little bit more frugally.
Maybe more noodles.
Yeah, noodles and puff and all of that, bro. But yeah, I think that's like, if you're gonna get some variety of food in, then you're gonna need to spend around there.
Around more. And what we also put in, like, remember we got like those salt containers, so there was some extra stuff.
There's always unexpected expenses that come up, like that, things
which
that you need
isn't
around
really
the house.
food, but it's around
cleaning supplies as well.
Yeah, and then
toiletries is obviously that's not even including toiletries and cleaning supplies really. So that is purely just for the food.
Just for
so that stuff does get added on top. Basically.
On top, and then what we got in with the food as well is a lot of snacks. So yeah, I mean that could cover you about 4 grand. It can work, and split between us, it's 2K each. So and then we also pay the levies, which is a part now from the rent. So that levies is currently at around 2,800. So we split that, and then yeah, that's basically the cost. That's going to be a monthly. It's going to be a fixed thing. Oh, and then there's the Netflix subscription, which Michael also got me into. But yeah.
And I thought you might not need it, but Netflix is a necessary thing for young people our age.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have more than just Netflix, I mean that's like another, for example, 230 rand I think it is a month that we're paying for that. Then if you want to have like Disney Prime, Amazon, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, so that those sort of kind of subscriptions can rack up. But for now, that's our frugalness is. We're just sticking with that one. It's getting us through. Watching some cool Asian dramas on there. So keeps us entertained in the evenings. But I think that's kind of like that's the necessary cost that you're gonna have. That's what you kind of need, and it's not a want. Besides maybe the snacks, but maybe becomes a need also. Though this would have been more costly, would you think, if you were to have to move into your own space, cover the levies, the rent on your own, plus the food, so
water, electricity.
One of the realities of living in like Cape Town, man, is if you had to cover all of those expenses plus the rent, all by yourself, it's going to be a huge expense. The fact that we're able to split that, I think, has allowed us to move out, to be honest, because if you didn't have that, I don't know. I don't know if you actually could. Like, you would have very little ability to save money each month.
Spend even just
spending money on gifts and going out. You wouldn't have as much for that. So obviously, by splitting, we've been able to still have some money for that. It's tighter. It's always going to be tighter, like than living with your parents beforehand, or having your expenses covered while you're studying. But you got to kind of take on that responsibility at some point.
So it's been a good learning curve.
Indeed, man, indeed. And I guess one or two other considerations when you do this sort of thing. So like in Cape Town, obviously you might be working from home, but you might be, a lot of jobs are like hybrid these days. So for example, my job's hybrid. Some days I'm going into the office, some days working from home. Your days, your position at the moment is full-time in office.
Full-time in office.
So another consideration becomes like, where do you actually decide to move out?
Yes.
So for us, like, it was obviously, it just depends on where you find a good place. This deal that we found obviously was in this area, but I think if I could have chosen to live, I would have lived in the same area. Like, we're staying in Bloberg, Cape Town at the moment. I've spent a lot of time there already in my life, so it's obviously a place I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But the upsides and downsides of that can be like your commute and so on. So like, what would you say? Like, if you had the chance to like maybe live closer to your work, would you want to do that, or how do you find the commute as well as a part of it?
Yeah, so the commute isn't as bad as where I come from. So in Namibia, I had to travel about 90 kilometers to work and then 90 back, so that's 180. Whereas here it's like 40, 45 there and back. So I'm finding it quite comfortable. Maybe if I wanted to save on time and traffic, then I would have maybe preferred like a Plattekloof area or Kuils River. But I really enjoy Blouberg as well because this is where I grew up when I was a bit younger, like where I did my primary school. But yeah, so it definitely comes down to preference and also how far, like the proximity of your job from where you stay and times you are willing to get up in the morning.
Another thing is also like the lifestyle. Like, you and I are like relatively quiet guys who don't go out as much
Yeah.
as some other people. But obviously, if you're into like the nightlife, that is a big part of Cape Town.
Yeah.
Then staying in like the CBD is probably more attractive.
Yes.
But then your rent's going to be higher. So those are just kind of things that you got to consider.
Yeah.
For us, it wasn't like a major consideration necessarily. Because you can still make a little trip if you want to go out and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like Blouberg, it's not the most central, but it's also close to a lot of nice areas. Like you'll be able to go to the what's it called, waterfront.
Yeah, it's a quick drive to get to all these places.
Yeah, like it's really not the most difficult. And it's a quiet area as well. Like it's really a nice area, very close to the beach. Like you can literally take like a 5 minute jog to the beach.
Yeah.
From here. So
that's Cape Town for you, man.
Yeah.
Very cool place to be staying, man. As a whole, you enjoying Cape Town the last few months?
I've been enjoying it. It's way more busy.
Everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, in a lot of ways busier, yes. So I thought I would be more grounded, but I've not actually. I actually have to be intentional about making time to just be. That's how I found it. But otherwise, good. Yeah. Found a lot of fun, a lot of happiness here and growth.
And people?
People also.
Let's go, man.
Yeah. People.
Yeah, so I think that's it from us. We do plan to do a little apartment tour, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that to get a bit more of like the inside look on our lives and what we're doing at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is just a breakdown of the expenses and what you can expect moving out in Cape Town. Bachelor life. Young as two young people. Yeah. And
also that like it's possible you can do it.
Exactly.
You can move out, and one thing that I've realized that's brought me out of my comfort zone a lot is like moving to another country, even though I've stayed here before when I was younger, but moving here on my own and navigating around that and like finding my own feet, and it's possible in your 20s, like you're able to do it.
Yeah.
It just depends how you structure it, and I mean where you want to be.
Nah, I agree with you, man. I think that's an interesting point because I was warned by quite a few people like, yo, why are you moving out, you know? Even just people our age. I mean, we 23, turning 24 this year. And that's almost like early to move out these days, yeah.
These days, which is weird, eh?
So my friends are like,
you know, married by now.
Yeah, true. 50 years ago, exactly. You'd have some kids on the way, so that is the reality of the world we live in. And look, cost of living is much higher than back then, so that's why a lot of young people are deciding to stay with their parents longer, not move out. But yeah, we've taken that step, and a big portion of that as well is that we can hopefully have some more time to work on some of the things that we want to work on.
That's true.
Including BTY and so on. So yeah, you'll be seeing a bit more of us. But if you guys did make it through to the end of this video, please do subscribe and like this video. that'll help us out a lot.
Mm. And yeah, that is it from us here at BTY. A lot of love to you.